Happiness doesn't depend on outward conditions. It depends on inner conditions. When we hate our enemies, we are giving them power over us, power over our sleep, our appetites, our blood pressure, our health, and our happiness. 3/4 of the people you will meet are hungering for sympathy. Give it to them and they will love you. People are not interested in you. They are not interested in me. They are interested in themselves, morning, noon, and after dinner. The only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. The only way I can get you to do anything is by giving you what you want. A person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Arouse in the other person an eager want. He who can do this has the whole world with him. Every successful person loves the game, the chance to prove his worth, to excel, to win. Success in dealing with people depends on a sympathetic grasp of the other person's viewpoint. Pay less attention to what men say. Just watch what they do. Ask questions instead of giving orders. The average person is more interested in her own name than in all the other names on earth put together. Remember a name and call it easily, and you have paid a subtle and very effective compliment. There is only one way to get the best of an argument, and that is to avoid it. People are more likely to accept an order if they had a part in the decision that caused the order to be issued. Flaming enthusiasm backed up by horse sense and persistence is the quality that most frequently makes for success. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? Then prepare to accept it. Then proceed to improve on the worst. Happiness doesn't depend on any external conditions, it is governed by our mental attitude. One reason why birds and horses are not unhappy is because they are not trying to impress other birds and horses. To be interesting, be interested. All men have fears, but the brave put down their fears and go forward. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him to find it within himself. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. It raises one above the herd and gives one a feeling of nobility and exaltation to admit one's mistakes. Take a chance. All life is a chance. The man who goes furthest is generally the one who is willing to do and dare. Today is life, the only life you are sure of. Make the most of today. Get interested in something. Shake yourself awake. Develop a hobby. Let the winds of enthusiasm sweep through you. Live today with gusto. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. If you can't sleep, then get up and do something instead of lying there and worrying. It's the worry that gets you, not the loss of sleep. Do the hard jobs first. The easy jobs will take care of themselves. Remember, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. You can sing only what you are. You can paint only what you are. You must be what your experiences, your environment, and your heredity have made you. For better or for worse, you must play your own little instrument in the orchestra of life. By fighting you never get enough, but by yielding you get more than you expected. Don't be afraid to give your best to what seemingly are small jobs. Every time you conquer one, it makes you that much stronger. If you do the little jobs well, the big ones will tend to take care of themselves. If you argue and rankle and contradict, you may achieve a victory sometimes, but it will be an empty victory because you will never get your opponent's goodwill. The chronic kicker, even the most violent critic, will frequently soften and be subdued in the presence of a patient, sympathetic listener, a listener who will be silent while the irate fault finder dilates like a king cobra and spews the poison out of his system. We are all dreaming of some magical rose garden over the horizon instead of enjoying the roses blooming outside our windows today. The expression one wears on one's face is far more important than the clothes one wears on one's back. Let's find and remedy all our weaknesses before our enemies get a chance to say a word. That is what Charles Darwin did. When Darwin completed the manuscript of his immortal book, The Origin of Species, he realized that the publication of his revolutionary concept of creation would rock the intellectual and religious worlds. So he became his own critic and spent another 15 years checking his data, challenging his reasoning, and criticizing his conclusions. There is only one way under high heaven to get the best of an argument, and that is to avoid it. The man who goes farthest is generally the one who is willing to do and dare. The sure-thing boat never gets far from shore. John Wanamaker, founder of the stores that bear his name, once confessed, "I learned 30 years ago that it is foolish to scold. I have enough trouble overcoming my own limitations without fretting over the fact that God has not seen fit to distribute evenly the gift of intelligence." The world is full of people who are grabbing and self-seeking. So the rare individual who unselfishly tries to serve others has an enormous advantage. If you believe in what you are doing, then let nothing hold you up in your work. Much of the best work in the world has been done against seeming impossibilities. Do you remember the things you were worrying about a year ago? How did they work out? Didn't you waste a lot of fruitless energy on account of most of them? Didn't most of them turn out all right after all? When the fierce, burning winds blow over our lives and we cannot prevent them, let us, too, accept the inevitable. And then get busy and pick up the pieces. When we are harassed and reach the limit of our own strength, many of us then turn in desperation to God. There are no atheists in foxholes. But why wait till we are desperate? Why not renew our strength every day? Why wait even until Sunday? For years I have had the habit of dropping into empty churches on weekday afternoons. When I feel that I am too rushed and hurried to spare a few minutes to think about spiritual things, I say to myself, "Wait a minute, Dale Carnegie, wait a minute. Why all the feverish hurry and rush, little man? You need to pause and acquire a little perspective." At such times, I frequently drop into the first church that I find open. Although I am a Protestant, I frequently, on weekday afternoons, drop into St. Patrick's Cathedral on Fifth Avenue, and remind myself that I'll be dead in another 30 years. But that the great spiritual truths that all churches teach are eternal. I close my eyes and pray. I find that doing this calms my nerves, rests my body, clarifies my perspective, and helps me revalue my values. May I recommend this practice to you? Think of your life as an hourglass. You know there are thousands of grains of sand in the top of the hourglass, and they all pass slowly and evenly through the narrow neck in the middle. Nothing you or I could do would make more than one grain of sand pass through this narrow neck without impairing the hourglass. You and I and everyone else are like this hourglass. If we do not take tasks, one at a time, and let them pass, slowly and evenly, then we are bound to break our own structure. Action seems to follow feeling, but really action and feeling go together, and by regulating the action, which is under the more direct control of the will, we can indirectly regulate the feeling, which is not. You are going to survive, and good things are going to start to happen again. And one day you are going to look back and this will not even be such a bad thing. If you want to know how to make people shun you and laugh at you behind your back and even despise you, here is the recipe. Never listen to anyone for long. Talk incessantly about yourself. If you have an idea while the other person is talking, don't wait for him or her to finish. Bust right in and interrupt in the middle of a sentence. People become lonely in old age because in their youth they don't cultivate relationships and connections that could have sustained them through the ups and downs of life. People don't have many friends because as kids they did learn to trust people. It's never too late to start building meaningful relationships and investing in the people around you.